Thanks for tuning in to Prime Sports Speed as we preview the next race on the IndyCar Series calendar. And the first race following the Indianapolis 500, that's the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix. Eric Smith joining me as always from racereviewonline.net. And Eric, this race has many names. The race course has many names. What is it known by the most historically?
Belle Isle.
Belle Isle.
It's called Belle Isle. Yep, it's the island. It is between. It's scenic. It's nice. It's right between Detroit and Canada.
There's an area next to Detroit that's nice.
Yeah, this is the one.
This is it.
This is the one.
Okay.
Yeah, it is literally. It's a nice. You go on this nice little bridge, and then you just come across this island. And what's pretty cool about it is if you look one way, it's like there's downtown Detroit. There's America. And you look your other way, like that's Canada. It's right in the middle.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a nice park. They did a good job with it. It's the streets, the racing surface probably could use another repave, but it's bumpy. But I think that's what gives it character. Just kind of how the drivers don't want Atlanta, the NASCAR side repaved. This has character. But it is a scenic track. It's right in the middle of a park. There's picnic tables, and you have a picnic and stands. It's a nice area to take a family
tree huggers
to go see the race. Yeah, you got those. When you're driving in, people saying we're degrading the park. It's like, you know how much money they spent to make this park not look like your downtown over here. This park is a nice park. You should welcome them. They're not hurting anything.
Yeah, you know what? Anybody that is listening, watching this show that is going to be at the race this weekend, and you encounter a tree hugger, tell them to go to Maine, because there's a lot of forestry that is being trampled down in Maine for the sake of green energy. So head up to Maine because they're trying to fight back the beautiful landscape. I mean, Maine is a beautiful state, but they're just destroying the greenery there. And if you want a real good cause, do that. But you know why they won't do that is because it's all for the sake of the green energy. So
yeah,
that's okay. You can demolish the forestry as long as it's for green energy.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, these guys, it makes a ton of sense. Yeah. Just look at the park and how nice it is, and look how long we've been coming here. Now there's some breaks they took from coming just to do some repairs and stuff, but it is pristine. There is nothing wrong with it. Penske is a smart businessman. If he thought that was economically or environmentally nothing was safe, he wouldn't be going there. He's doing everything he can. It's a nice track. It's a nice area over there on the island. They're not hurting you. They're not harming anything. It's he's doing a good job with it. So on their side,
and I say that, and I know it sounds like it's in jest, but it's the truth. I mean, yes. and that's the thing that really, because they're not accomplishing anything there. They're not going to change the track. But if you really want to make a difference, I'm serious. Head to Maine. Because there's other ways to, if you're into green energy, there's other ways to go about doing it than to knock down trees in the landscape area in Maine. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and Penske's got ties with Shell and Pennzoil and all these oil. I mean, if there was something environmentally that was wrong, these people would tell him, and there's not. He's not doing anything wrong. Your precious city streets are for one weekend are being used. Embrace it. They're bringing money to you.
Yes.
It's better being used than not used. It's they're helping. So, is it the best of racing? That could be debatable. I mean, it's a street course. It's bumpy, but they're bringing money to your economy and your park. Be happy they're coming versus the alternative.
You should find a way to work together. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know if I would assume they probably do. You tell me. Do they set up, like locations where you can actually say, "Hey, could you donate to this or donate to that"? Do they have that, or is it just all protesting?
I've seen just protesting, just people standing right at the front.
Oh, while
of
people
the island
drive
with
in.
Signs.
You mean? Okay.
Yeah, as you're driving in, there's people with signs protest. I mean, there's not many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tens. That's it. I mean,
that would be a really good idea. That let's just. This is why we're doing doing what we're doing, and here's a good cause that you can donate to and take advantage of it because you got a lot of
Yeah.
people coming to watch the race.
And they've openly said, "Hey, we're open. All right, come on in, and we'll show you. We'll explain to you that we're listen." But
No.
those people don't like facts. They like their own facts. Don't want to hear the real facts. So,
Well,
yeah,
and let's hope that, like you said, this is not maybe if you compare it to. So we've had St. Pete so far this year. There's going to be Long Beach and Nashville this year. If you had to rate the four street races, how would you rate this one compared to the other three?
that's hard because Nashville's an inaugural. We've never raced there before. There's a lot of attention being brought to that because of
Okay.
new race. A lot of investors in it. So that one's hard because we've never actually raced there. Long Beach is like the Indy 500 of road course or street course racing. It's the second longest tenured race on the schedule, so that's got to be number one. They call it like the U.S. Monaco. It's just glitzy, glamour, and in the suburb of LA, obviously. St. Pete's become a staple on the schedule. It's scenic too. It's a nice street course, so it'd be hard to put it Detroit over St. Pete but there's also, if you span out and look at the whole island, it's a nice island too. So honestly, I'd probably say Long Beach, St. Pete, Detroit. Toronto was on it. We're not going there this year because of COVID and everything. In Canada, I'd probably put Belle Isle ahead of Toronto, in my opinion. Some people may beg to differ, but I would probably rank them if I had to do the 5 street courses. I'm going to put Nashville at 5 until I see it.
But this is third
Long Beach,
of the three that they'll be racing on this year that they've raced before.
yeah,
Okay.
I would say it's just because of the prestige. I mean, there's not the prestige factor that you get at the other two, but
Okay.
it's lasted this long for a reason too, though. I mean, it's right in Chevy and Ford's backyard. That's why it's important too. So it's an important race, I will say. And it's 2 races in one weekend, so it's important for the championship too.
We also want to thank everybody that have subscribed to the channel over the past couple of weeks, especially since our Indy 500 coverage, because,
Yes.
and I've said on the message boards before, the more you can subscribe to our channel and the more that you, and I think we had over 500 likes alone just on the press conference for the 500. Just I don't the second and third place press conference. I don't remember how many likes we had on that one, but combined we had about over 30,000 views just for the press
Yeah.
conferences alone. And the reason why it's important is the more traffic that we can, the more traffic that pops up on our channel, easier it is for us not only with uh, just general sponsors, but overall with YouTube and also with IndyCar itself. It makes it easier for us to cover the sport and to be provided with more guest interviews, things of that nature. Who wants to go interview on a channel with 10 subscribers? So the more subscribers and more activity we have on this channel, the more we'll be able to do. And Eric, I know you're about to start
Yep.
embarking on some cool stuff again, as far as
Yep.
tracking the series, because it's been a rough road with the pandemic, but everything's opening up again.
Yeah, everything's opening up. IndyCar is opening things back up. Picking the hard card back up today. Going to get pit garage access. Everything's getting back to normal. Last year, the season got started in June because of restrictions. It was hard to what race can you go to? You can't go in the pit and garage. A little inside. Sometimes road and street courses. If you can't go in the pits or garage, you're confined to like a banquet room or a room. There's no windows. Sometimes some of them there are, some of them there's not. It's like, well, why go pay money to cover a race when you can't see anything? You're just watching it on TV. They got zooms, everything's on it. So it totally changed the way you cover a race. But after being in person, there's just things you can do better in
Yep.
person than you can not being there. And it's opening up, so we're going to travel again. We're going to be out there again, obviously, like at Indy. So I appreciate the feedback people have been giving, the questions, ask away, whether it be a comment, you want to tweet at me, email, keep them coming. There's no wrong questions. There's no wrong feedback, just anything and everything. Do not some people are like, oh, this might be a stupid question. No, there's no stupid question. I like hearing questions. I like being able to the feedback. If you got a question I don't know, I'll go seek it. We've got resources to find it for you. So,
And I
for
could
the
use the
people watching
company
it,
on the stupid questions too.
So yeah, just ask. Yeah, there is no wrong question. I will never take a question as a dumb question. There is none. So it could be, hey, I don't know who won this race. I'll know. I'll look it up for. I'll tell you. I'll have it. Do not hesitate. This is an open community with racing. We embrace anybody who wants to be part of it because it is. Let's be honest. Race has become more of a niche sport. I mean, it's not football. It's not basketball. It's not baseball. It's not hockey. So the more the merrier. The more the welcome. We're a nice community here. So
and it's also
don't
worldwide,
hesitate.
and that's what's great about YouTube and the coverage that we're able to provide because there's so many. I mean, again, just the amount of people who were commenting on the message boards, you could tell were probably
from all over.
Like 30% of them weren't even from the States. So
it's amazing when I look at the stats on their website of IndyCar and where
they come from.
My traffic is coming from compared because NASCAR is predominantly an American drivers. I mean, you'll get Hispanic from Daniel Suarez or anything like that, but IndyCar, they're all from all over. I mean, you get Australia, New Zealand, Japan, a lot of Europe. So yeah, it's welcome for all. Even if your question is in a completely different language, I'll copy and paste it into translator and figure it out. Right. So do not hesitate if it's even in your native country, in your language. I don't mind.
Just make sure to start it off with Eric. Because if you don't do that, then he might not even know that this is a question that he needs to translate.
Exactly. Yeah, because sometimes it's the internet, you get spam, and I don't want to copy and paste something and put it in and it take me somewhere and get a virus. So yeah, if you put my name, I'll know that it's not a spam thing. So yes.
Okay, so let's see. One of the top trends that I've noticed, and I know we talked a little bit about it in the 500. And look, first of all, when's qualifying and practice?
Well, here's what's odd about this weekend. Practice is tomorrow, one session.
Okay, and we're recording this on Thursday morning.
Thursday, yep.
So Friday is practice.
5 to 6:15, and that's it. So here's where this is tricky. The last time we came to Detroit, we didn't have the aero screen. And we've talked to drivers even last year. It changes a lot of setups because you had about 50 pounds added weight on the front of the car. It's going to change the way your car handles. So you got to get used. A lot of your past notes aren't going to jive this weekend. So you got to get used to that. You can run the red and black tires. We've talked the alternate and the primary, which is how long you can get out of those. You can practice that tomorrow. Starting position, which we'll talk about, is very key. You want to work on some qualifying setups. But as Connor Daley has told me too, one area they're struggling is full fuel loads of how the car handles differently. Naturally, when you fill your car up, there's more weight to it. And then the farther you drive, the more fuel you burn, the lighter the car gets, the more the car changes handling-wise. That's their main struggle right now is getting that to work. So you've got 75 minutes to figure all of this out in a nutshell. So as some drivers told me, the longer you practice, the longer you're on track working on longer fuel run. Yeah. Say it doesn't work. Oh, the setup, we need to change it. Then, so the longer you're on track, the less time you have to alter something, a setup, which gives you less time to do it, to get back on track to see if it works. Then you got to figure setup. So it's going to be a hectic 75 minutes tomorrow on Friday. And then you only qualify at 11 on Saturday, and then you race. Sunday, you come back.
What time is the race on Saturday?
2 Eastern.
So green flags. So a lot of times, and look, NASCAR, especially without practice and qualifying mostly this year, it's a lot easier for us to make our picks Tuesday, Wednesday, because they're not getting any information from practice or qualifying. And a lot of the times anyways, and we've learned over the years that for the most part, at some tracks in NASCAR, practice and qualifying is very important. But for the most part, you can make picks early in the week before it. And now, without practice and qualifying, it's that much easier to do it early in the week. But the IndyCar series, to me, even though we're doing the shows, of course, we're always going to do the shows before qualifying. We're going to break down everything for you. And I know you have a good idea of who you think should be the top contenders and sleepers and so forth before you even see practice and qualifying. But when you have 38 of the last 39 winners in the series start in the top 10, it's important to find out who's qualifying in the top 10.
Very much so. And for like in some weekends we'll be able to break it down a little bit more. The problem is it's harder. It's hard for us to get a show lined up when like this weekend.
Yeah, that would be impossible. Yeah. It'd
Yeah,
have to be
you
live.
qualify. Yeah, you qualify at 11 and race at 2. There's not, and I don't know if the odds makers can keep up that quick. I mean, because you're going to be done. It's like a 45-minute
Well,
session.
they will.
And you're going to turn around and race.
They'll probably
And
take it off
then-
the board if it is. I haven't even seen it on some sports books yet. Now, the Indy 500 is going to be everywhere. But
Yep.
I'm going to be interested to see, because I haven't seen a couple of the sports books I use, which are popular sports books. I haven't seen anything yet for the race this week. So I'm just assuming they're waiting until after qualifying, which means the window
Probably.
is going to be, all right, I'll check at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday to find out what the odds are.
Yep, and that's why luckily DraftKings is what we've used. They've got them up right now. There are sometimes IndyCar is good to do 2 separate bets. You want to maybe bet smaller amounts, maybe just to see if you can win some money back early, because like we just said, the top 10's key, starting position's key. For an example, I'll give you Ryan Hunter-Reay. Right now is plus 4,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I was
Ryan
like,
Hunter-Reay
wow,
has not had a great
pretty
season.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at his last 4 Belle Isle finishes.
Okay.
2nd, 1st, 5th, 4th.
Okay.
You're giving me a guy right now at plus 4,000.
And is this because what? He's struggling this year?
I think it's because he's struggling this year. Now, let's say he qualifies in the top 5. What do you think those odds go to?
Probably 15 to 1. Maybe
If
10
not
to
even
1.
10 to 1.
Yeah.
12 yeah. You can get him at 40 to 1 right
Sure.
now. So that's why some of these things, I would almost do a long shots prop picks early, because some of these odds are going to change if they qualify better.
And he's at the top of the
some of
list.
these guys, I would put him at the top. Connor Daley, he's got 3 top 6s and only 6 career starts. This is his best track. He's talked about that. He's also plus 4,000 to 1.
That's right.
The last time he qualified on a road course, Indy, not the 500, but the road course, he made the Fast 6. So what happens if he does that here?
Okay.
Those odds aren't going to stay 4,000 to 1
Okay.
for long. Whereas on the flip side, you got a Scott Dixon at plus 450.
That's not going to
His
change any.
odds- No. So why pick him now?
Yeah.
The only thing you might luck out is what if he qualifies 8th? Maybe he drops to plus 800. Then you can pick him up then.
I wouldn't even think that
But-
would happen, though. But then again, I mean, he's such a
You
heavy
never-
favorite that as long as he qualifies in the top 10, I don't think those odds are moving.
They may not
Yeah.
change. That's why I always say you might want to do early your longer shots. Get those out of the way. Lock them in now. And then as the odds improve, you can always place another bet on them.
Sure.
But right now, I mean, Ed Jones, Dale Coyne Racing wins street courses. They go off strategy. They just pull a rabbit out of their hat. Ed Jones is plus 8,000, 80 to 1 right now. And last time he was there, it was in 20th and 14th. But the last time he was there with Coyne, 6th and 3rd. He finished in the top 6, both 3rd. He was on the podium. And you're getting him right now at 80 to 1. So
Okay.
why not? Those can only, I have a feeling those odds are only going to improve
Yeah.
for them against bettors for us.
Okay.
So why not pick some of these guys early where
Would those be the
Yeah,
top
like Rock-
3 then?
I would say right now those would be my top 3. I mean, I'm astonished. Maybe even Asado. I put him right there at 4. He's 30 to 1. Asado was 3rd in race 1 last time out, 5th in race 1 the time before that, and the year before that he was 8th and 4th respectively. So that's 4 top 8s in his last 6 finishes. His teammate Graham Rahal is phenomenal there. He swept the weekend there in 2017. So at 30 to 1, and Sado's usually a pretty good qualifier. You might want to pick him up now, because if any of these guys make the top 10 in qualifying, you know those odds are going to drop. So I'd say that's my 4.
Okay.
I would take 4 right now. and
Otto
that's them,
30
and
to
then,
1, Daley and Hunter-Reay at 40 to 1, and Jones at 80 to 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Just pick them now, because those could change. But
All right.
I was a little astonished, though. Hunter-Reay is the one that, when I saw that this morning, my eyes got big. I'm like, 40 to 1 for an Andretti driver. It's not like he's a past champion. He, in fact, he won this race. Not the last time they were here was 5th and 4th. The time before that, the second race, he won. And you're giving me the winner at 40 to 1. Take it. Run all day with
Yeah.
it right now.
All right.
So
Okay, sounds good. As far as the poll, that is not something that it's just real interesting that you can have so many top 10 starting position winners and even in this race, 7 straight top 10, 24 of 27 all time. Yet only one pole sitter has won in the last 14, and that was Ray Hall, who swept 2017. The only one to sweep 2007. The only one to sweep ever when they've gone to the doubleheader format.
Yeah, it's odd that you would think, because the pole winner, it's a street course, got track position. You would think
weird.
They hold the cards, and for some reason,
so that means I'm going to go to the second to the 10th driver. I'm going to forget the guy who's on the pole, especially if he's low odds.
Exactly. Forget the pole winner. Go the guy starting second or third or fourth. It's really weird by that. And Graham was asked this past week in a Zoom call about sweeping the weekend. Why is it so tough? Does he expect that to happen? And I mean, I was even looking, only twice or 3 times, I'm sorry, since the doubleheaders have started, that the same drivers finished on the podium both races.
Only twice.
You usually get it. Yeah, wow. You usually get a different podium both days.
Oh, that's interesting.
So which helps the fact for the next day betting.
Okay. So if you're on the podium on Saturday, eliminate those guys on Sunday.
Yeah, it's an odd trend. And again, since an IndyCar has done doubleheader formats since 2013, and I've got it right here: 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 15 race weekends since 2013 on street courses, or no, just in general. I'm sorry, just in general, that have been doubleheader weekends. Only twice have they been swept. Once was Dixon in 13. The other one's Ray Hall in 17. Okay. So the odds are the winner on Saturday is not going to win on Sunday.
Okay.
And Ray Hall said, yeah, the field's too good. The other factor is picture basically Saturday being a glorified practice session for these guys too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Sunday's race is run just 2 hours earlier, so the weather's going to be similar, and you got the same amount of laps. You already know strategy. You already know if you won, how do you fix your car to be a little bit better the next day? What direction? You already won. You don't go the wrong direction. If you didn't win, I can maybe use a little bit here or a little bit there. You're going to tinker with it, so you're going to be better.
Okay.
So I could see where it's hard. So, and really, at the most years, if you take, actually all the years, if you take the top 5 finishers, I haven't went back to the top 5 since 2013 for every race. Only the most times that's happened is twice that a guy's finished in the top 5 both times. So most years you get 3 of the 5 on average are going to be so take the top 5 that's going to finish on Saturday. Really only 1 or 2 of them are probably going to finish on the top 5 on Sunday. Trends have been showing that it's hard to do that. So it's basically a completely different race, as odd as it sounds. You're going to see the different people. So that's where you could take from this into Sunday is, okay, everything I saw from Saturday, I'm going to go the opposite for guys on Sunday. And we'll see what those odds, obviously they're not going to have Sunday's odds probably until Saturday night.
Well, and let's also and this is also important to note, and that is that anybody that is watching and they're serious about placing a bet or again, for fantasy reasons, whatever reason, you're going to definitely have your input on Twitter. And that's the quickest way. Are you going to have anything posted on your website in between, or is it just all going to be here are my thoughts on Twitter, and I'm going to just leave it at that?
It'll probably be a post. I'll have a recap. I'll treat Saturday's race like I would any other race weekend, recaps, what you see. And I'll probably do then a post for Sunday of, all right, here's a preview for Sunday's race. Here's what happened on Saturday. Here's the trends of maybe the guys that you're probably going to want to maybe look for Sunday's race. Great, I don't have qualifying yet, so that can throw a huge wrench in all of it. But based off this, of what happened to trends in the past and who finished where on Saturday, these may be the drivers you want to watch on Sunday. And I'll have a post on that because it's kind of hard to fit all that in characters on Twitter. So it's easier just to put one big post and a link, and here you go.
And
I'll probably do that.
What about after qualifying on Saturday?
I'll just probably post who the recap of it. Who's on the pole? Who's starting where? And here's the significance of why they're starting there. And the top 10 drivers historically are the odds-on favorites to win.
Okay.
If you go that past, then here's the top 10 and what they've done there.
And your picks, where are they? Where do you get your actual
They'll be
picks?
on Cover. You can go to Covers and get that. The actual picks on who to bet on. I'll put that up on Covers. I'll probably have a pack, honestly, up today just to cash in on some of these longer shots. And then what's hard about there is you can put them up Saturday after qualifying, but that's one of the odds up there to put it there and how many people are going to go there with a short window. So I will probably just do an overall one today, maybe let it ride for Saturday, and then Sunday is the update. I'll throw an easier one for Sunday because I'll have more time.
As far as the favorites, again, Dixon 4-1. He's won 2 of the last 4, so he's won 1 race in the last 2 years. Or again, not last year. We know they didn't race last year. And 3 total because he won a long time ago.
Yes.
Newgarden is one of the defending champs. Is he the actual defending champ of the Saturday race?
Yes, he won the Saturday race. And here's a good factoid about that. The Saturday race, the last 2 winners won the championship.
Okay.
So
interesting.
So Newgarden won. Or I'm sorry, Dixon won in 2018. He won the championship 2018. Newgarden won race 1 2019. He won the championship in 2019.
Okay.
So
that's just a coincidence.
Do we get a? We'll see who wins Saturday.
All right. Yeah. Right.
If it's Dixon or one of those guys up front,
maybe.
Then, you never know.
Herta 8-1. He dominated at St. Pete. So is he one of the early bargains at 8-1? But considering that.
It's tough in the sense that he finished 12th in both races, the only time out. This is really only a second or third start there. What's weird, too, about it is a lot of the feeder series, the Road to Indy, in NASCAR terms, the trucks and Xfinity, the IndyCar has that ladder series for them. They don't race at Belle Isle. This is the first year the Indy Lights have raced there. So a lot of these younger guys have virtually no experience.
Okay.
So this will technically be his third start there. At 8-1, to me, I would like to see him more 10 or 11-1. I'd maybe fade him for right now. Yes, he did good in St. Pete, but this is a completely different track.
Okay.
He's got a good street course program, but I think you can get better value with his other teammates than right now at 8-1. So I'd fade him right now.
Okay. Powers at 9-1. He's a 2-time champ. And as far as champs, Pagenaud is 14-1. He won it back in 2013. And I believe the only other one that we didn't talk about was Bourdais. How do you pronounce his name?
Bourdais.
That's right.
Bourdais.
Sebastian Bourdais?
Yeah. Okay. He's a good
2-time champ, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And you'll look at his recent stats, 17th, 21st, or 13th, 21st, 11th, and 9th. But he's done good on street courses with Foyt. And 40-1, he may be, if you list the top 5, I'd probably put him under Sato as guys to take now. 40-1, sprinkle of money his way. I will say for Will Power, maybe a day 2 type guy. His first race finishes there lately, 20th, 18th, 7th, and 18th. Day 2, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd. So might fade him at 9-1 the first day. It may get even better odds the second day if he doesn't have a good finish the first day.
I like that.
And you look at what he's done in the second day. It seems like he needs that race to get acclimated, and then he powers his way to the front on the next day. So I think he's a good second day guy for this weekend.
And lastly, what about the rest? Give me a driver or 2 from some of the other drivers that are kind of in between.
Definitely Ray Hall at 13-1 right now. As I said, he swept the weekend in 2017. 7th in both races the last time out. He's had a great season. You got to look in St. Pete. He'd have a top 7 finish in every race this year if not for St. Pete. Him and Rossi had contact on track while battling in the top 5, and he lost several spots because of that. And then Indy, he was shaping up to be a top 5 finisher, and his fluke tire falls off. They don't tighten it, and he wrecks. So he's got speed. I think this is arguably the best Graham Ray Hall in his car we've ever seen. And we've seen what he's done in the past there, and now he's improved, and he's 13-1. So he'd be a guy kind of middle of the road. I take Rossi at 10-1 right now. Let's do his last 6 finishes at Belle Isle. 5th, 7th, 3rd, 12th, 2nd, 5th. So you're getting him at 10-1. We know he's a good qualifier. Rossi's always up front. if he qualifies up front, that 10-1 quickly is probably going to be 5 or 6-1.
Okay.
Andretti guys have all told me their preferred package between short oval, super speedway, and road courses, street courses, that type of thing, are street courses. We saw what Herta did at St. Pete. This is his teammate. He's been good there in the past. He needs to get a win. Hunter Aid kind of told me the same thing the other day. I asked him, what are your goals now? The 500's through. The top 2 goals of every IndyCar driver: win the 500, win the season championship. He didn't win the 500, and they're so far out, the championship is probably out of reach. So do you adjust your goals in a baseball term? Do you just start, hey, I'm going to swing for I'm going to try to hit a home run. What do I have to lose? And he said that they need to get the momentum going, and street courses are their best tracks. So I think they not only they get the momentum, they swing for the fences, and you're giving me Rossi at that point, who's in a similar situation at 10-1 right now. Take them. So I'd say Rossi and Rahal right now.
Okay.
The rookies, a lot of other guys between are rookies on this track, maybe not in the series, but rookies that, as I just said, everything changes. It'd be hard to have a rookie get up to speed in 75 minutes and know exactly. So again, it could go the opposite. Maybe because of the aero screen, a lot of the veterans are changing too. Maybe it shortens that advantage, but I would say for this first race, it'd be hard for me to go a rookie right now.
All right. Before I hook up here, you were going to pop up your website. I wanted to ask you, I saw one of your stories regarding, what was it? Alex Pillow's grid penalty?
Yes.
What is that?
So a lot of times at Indy, so for Indy, you get a fresh engine after you qualify. The Chevy and Honda, obviously, you don't want to have an engine failure in the race. So they give you a fresh engine. You could practice with it on carb day, and then you race it on that Sunday. Well, they changed the fresh engine to an even newer engine between carb day and race day. So IndyCar isn't going to penalize you for the 500. They just like, hey, where you started from. We don't want to get in a bunch of, hey, you should have started the inside of row 2, and now you're back in the row 11. They wait till Belle Isle. So they give you a 6th position grid penalty, saying kind of a slap on the wrist, like, hey, you shouldn't have done that.
Okay.
Clearly could have been an advantage. I wish I would have asked that question, because he told me that. I asked him about the challenges of practice, and he said, oh, I got a grid penalty. It's like, what? And I wish I would have asked, was there the drivers are probably going to tell you, oh, no, it wasn't an advantage, but did that help him in his second place finish? So take of where he starts and then take 6 spots back. Just subtract. So if he qualified 3rd, he's going back 6 spots at the start of the race. We're NASCAR, you go to the back. If you make an unapproved
adjustment. And that's just for the Saturday race.
Yeah, that's just for Saturday.
All right. But he's still one of the young kids that you wouldn't be looking at this week anyway.
Exactly. I think he's the points leader, by the way. I think he needs to come out of here with just solid top 5s, top 10s. Don't try to do something. Don't go a punch above your weight. Yeah. You're the points leader. You're up 36 points. You got a grid penalty for Saturday. I would probably, if I were him, be a little conservative. You got to start points racing. He's fighting his teammate, Scott Dixon, for a championship, and we know what Dixon can do. The guy just, like Pato O'Ward told me, he's going to consistently, you got to beat him at his own game. He's going to, if he doesn't have a car to win, he's going to put it in the top 5 or top 10. These guys have to start racing that way. So that's why I would say for this weekend, he has no experience on this track, got the grid penalty, just come into Saturday, get through that day, and see where you stand.
All right, now I'm just going to pop up your website here. And again, this is the homepage of the site. So you have stories that just popped out from yesterday. You have the Hunter Ray award story here. This is the Pillow's grid penalty here. So you can just click that, and then you go down here and read the story here. So basically everything that you just said and more is in this story, in this report.
Yes, it's all there. Yep. And we had teleconferences this week which is good of IndyCar. They do this every week, every race week, where you get multiple drivers. And we had Connor Daley, Bourdais, Ray Hall, Hunter Ray, Pillow, both Aero McLaren guys, Rosenquist and Award. So, and I had write-ups from every conversation I had with them. So it's all there. It's all there since Tuesday. So, and you could if you even want to go archives, right at the top, there's the IndyCar tab. Click on it. It'll have them all there. If you want to just specifically NASCAR stories, click on the NASCAR tab. If you hover over it, you got the track trends, the favorite sleepers, burning questions. It'll take you straight to those pages. I will have the burning questions report coming out tomorrow morning. The 5 burning questions, that'll be there. So do it for every race. So it's all there.
All right.
NASCAR the same way. Got it broken down in the NASCAR tab the same way.
Yes. And
if you want to listen to all of our shows, any of our, you see the Prime Sports NASCAR, everything's there too. All of our shows, all of our fantasy picks each week, everything's on there too. So it's all on the homepage, and I've also all got it housed on their own pages too. So try to make it simple.
And here's the covers link. So
you can take you right to my cover
just click
stuff.
it right here. You'll go to the covers page right there. There's that. And also, you know what I wanted to ask you before I let you go, and that is I was looking at one of these. Where's the story? Where's the photo? Here it is. It's the one Connor Daley tells me about his chances heading to Belle Isle. And you have a photo here. Now, is that Carpenter in that photo?
That is.
Okay, I was saying when I was going over all of the quotes and everything from the Indy race.
Yes.
Boy, he's got to be one of the, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe he won't come on our show, but he's just not, it doesn't seem like a very good interview.
He's dry.
Yeah.
That's just his personality.
Okay.
But
he seems like
he
could be a nice guy, I guess,
He's a very nice guy. He just is, he's so even keel.
Yeah.
Which
you probably need to be. That's a good thing for the sport.
Yes. Yeah. He's a guy that if he's mad, he'll give you a quote, but it's going to sound the same tone. And if he wins, same tone. He's just it doesn't matter. That's who he is. So I'm like, I like a person to show me who you are, and you don't have to deviate. Sure. And that's who he is. That we know that's who he is. He has the monotone voice, but he's very nice. And he definitely, you get what you see. That's who he is.
Does he, when you've interviewed him before, does he, compared to other drivers, because you're obviously, when you're interviewing someone, you don't really care necessarily about their monotone or how their delivery is. You just want, are they giving you good information? Is this not going to be a waste of my time? Does he give you good information?
He does. He does give any information. He's very open. It's just people can read him wrong or take him wrong, and that's just who he is. But he will give you information. I asked him in media day about turn 1 and racing into turn 1. We've seen a bunch of first lap wrecks, and he's a veteran. Do they study it? And he gives you good answers, and about VK and comparing him to Joseph Newgarden, who used to race for him. And it's not like he gives you dry answers like, hey, I'm just going to give you a very dry, blunt answer and move on. That's not who he is. He'll give you a very direct answer, which is a good quote. And it's like he respects your time like you respect his. So I don't have a problem with him whatsoever.
I don't know if he had a food sponsor, but I remember he was eating something, and it was like, I'm going to go have my so-and-so. It was like, what is this guy? Yeah. He had like a 10-second quote, and half of it was he has a bag of food. It's like, I gotta go eat my food now.
And it's funny, how us too, just to show his even keelness is if you watch his press conference from, I believe it was I'm trying to remember now. It was one of the qualifying days. I can't remember. It was the one where he qualified like on the Saturday before the Fast 9, or if it was the Sunday. I think it was the Saturday one. But he was talked about his daughter, who set up like the U.S. record and was like a few inches off of the world record for high jump.
Oh, okay. And
he's like, oh yeah, there's my daughter over. It's a good day for the Carpenters, and she won the state championship. But it was the same tone. Right? I mean, he was smiling, but you could tell like a father. He's like, yeah, my daughter right. He just so even keel. So that I guess for an athlete, you kind of need that. You don't get too high on the highs, you don't get too low on the lows. You're just even keel. So that's just who he is.
Anthony Rendon's
got no problem with him
for the Washington Nationals.
Now
he's with the Anaheim Angels.
Oh, he's with the Angels. Yes,
all that money he took.
Yeah, my son is his little league team is the Angels.
Okay.
That's how I was looking at shirts and I saw. I'm like, hey, isn't that the same
Yeah.
Rendon that was
Oh,
the
okay.
long hair was good on
Yeah.
the Nationals?
He's
So
like
yep,
that.
yep.
I mean, he's just. There was a picture of him in the wild card game last year. It was the bottom of the eighth. They're down, I think, by 2 runs, and he is yawning. Now he got
It's just how
he got a
people
plate
are.
appearance in, I think it might have been the seventh, because he got a plate appearance after that, like a little while after that, and he walked. So it wasn't like he wasn't in the game. It's just that was it. It was like,
Yeah.
ugh. And everybody's like going crazy. It's the biggest, and it just shows you that some athletes, that their heartbeat just beats at a certain way, which is
Yep.
great. We all wish our because in athletics, that's what you want. You dream of being able to yawn in the biggest moments
Yes.
and still succeed.
Sometimes those are the most clutch people.
Yep.
They don't get too hot. They just don't care. Like that's how when he was the quarterback here of our Colts, Andrew Luck was. He just generally, it's like you tell, he didn't care.
Yeah.
He was like an architecture nerd. Like, hey, it's 2 minutes to go. We got to score a touchdown or we lose. And if I throw an interception, oh well, score a touchdown.
And
Great.
if he was
oh,
a
well,
quarterback with the Bears, because Cutler had that, and that was a bad. When you do that in a big market, and you completely are misunderstood.
People think you don't care. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And Cutler had that problem in Chicago.
Yep. That's how Cutler was. Yeah, exactly. And Luck was. This town is people like, oh, that's the clutch gene, like because that's how they survive in the clutch, is because they don't care. I mean, it's not like they don't care, but it's like they don't get too high if they score the touchdown. Hey, great, we won the game. Oh, I threw an interception. It's where a lot of us, our heartbeat is racing, our palms are sweaty. Like, oh my God, if I screw this up, it's human nature for your brain to think that. They don't care. That's how, and that's why Carpenter's like, that's why it's sometimes at end of races, it's like where it could be a shot for the 500. Like, oh, okay. Sure. I'll make the move. It's like, you just don't.
When was the last time he won a race?
That's just who you are. He won, gosh, I'm trying to, I know he won at Texas. I think I don't know if that was 13 or 14. He's part-time. He got out of the car. He just runs ovals. He knew that a road course, he's not strong. His background was USAC and midgets and sprint cars and Silver Crown on pavement and ovals. And he knows, like, I don't have a road course background. I'm hurting my team running road courses.
Sure.
That's why Connor Daley splits the seat with him. Hey, you run the road and street courses. I'll run the ovals, and for the 500, I'll give you an oval car.
And that means that neither one of those guys can really win the championship then.
Now, Connor can, because he picked up the other two oval races with Carlin.
You have to have a certain number of them?
Yeah, so this year, there started off 17 races because of Toronto. The two on Texas, the Indy 500, and Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway over there. Those are the only 4 ovals. Well, Carlin's got Max Chilton, who will only run road and street courses in the Indy 500. Well, Connor Daly's got a ride for every road and street course in the Indy 500 with Carpenter.
Okay.
But he doesn't have for Texas or Gateway. Well, Chilton doesn't want to run Texas or Gateway. So with him being open, Carlin's like, it's a perfect fit. They're both Chevy teams. You come run with us, and then you run the rest of the season with Carpenter. So technically, Connor Daly is championship. Weirdly as it sounds, he's driven 3 cars. The 47, because it's
much
the open
different
car.
from NASCAR.
He's got a very weird schedule, but he wants to be full-time, where Carpenter can't, Chilton can't. They're not running the full season. But where IndyCar is interesting, they go owner points. It's called the leader circle money, where they give you millions to stay within the top. I think it was 22 or 23. The 20 car that runs the full season, where Ed's in it on ovals, Connor's in it on the road and street courses, you want to finish in that because you get leader circle money, which IndyCar disperses at the end of the year. They'll give you the millions to recoup to show up for the next year. Well, if you don't finish in that, you don't get that money, which that's part of why I think Marco Andretti, that 98 car, went part-time. They didn't finish in it last year. They didn't get the money. They need money, sponsorship money, couldn't find it. Therefore, you drop off. So it's very important. So you don't want to have a guy, hey, I'll run the ovals, and let me give a guy that just is a field fuller, just the part-time in this car, and you're at the bottom, because then you're going to lose out in the leader circle money, and you could lose out on that ride. So it's important for Connor to finish well in that car, because where they may be points wise, Carpenter single handedly maybe 27th, 28th, whatever. That car might be 14th, 15th, 16th. It's important for them for that leader circle.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll definitely at some point. We'll also on these shows try to update you on the standings. When does it start to get really interesting and important to follow the championship standings?
I'd say probably when we get a couple weeks when we get to the Mid Ohio. This week's the halfway point. Once you get through both races are at the halfway. You got Road America, then you get the Mid Ohio, which I'm hearing they haven't fully officially announced it yet. Could be another doubleheader to replace the Toronto missing race. So then once you get to that point, we get that long off break, and then you got Nashville, Indy, Gateway, and then the 3 races on the West Coast and wraps up the season. So I'd say Mid-Ohio is when you really want to start looking at it because you got 2 races, and then it's a championship
push.
Is that again?
So
July 4th weekend.
Okay. So about another few weeks. And there's no playoffs?
No playoffs. Season points. So they're
okay with that?
I am. It's pure. You've got to be on it all season. I'd rather, because let's be honest, the Andretti guys, they've had bad luck and haven't looked good. Like Hunter Ray, I believe, was like 17th, 18th in points. Rossi's 15th. Should they really have a chance to win the championship when they haven't done much all year?
Okay.
So I like it. It makes it every race matter. So
and it's also half the schedule of NASCAR. So
exactly, you'd be starting the playoffs now already. That's weird. We just started the season, so I'm okay with them running a full season on points.
All right, sounds good. So when are we back?
This time next week, I believe.
When's the next race?
Next weekend.
What is that?
Road America.
Oh, that's the Road America race.
Yep.
That's the one in Wisconsin?
That's the one in Wisconsin.
Right.
Yep.
So next Thursday we'll be back. We will preview the race, and again, go to racereviewonline.net for everything in between the races this weekend, in between qualifying in the first race on Saturday, and for all the post-race information, you can check out racereviewonline.net. And then also for our NASCAR show, we're going to return next week. We were off this week because of the All-Star race, so we return next Wednesday with CJ Radoon from RotoWire. So we'll preview what is the first race in NASCAR?
Nashville next week.
Oh, that's right. The new race, the new oval.
Yep, the new race.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that. And who knows, we'll probably have to, maybe we should get you on the show on Wednesday because you're not going to be on Monday.
No, true.
Yeah, you need to come on Wednesday then.
You come on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yep. You should come on anyway every month or something like that.
I was gonna say we're now done with baseball, so I'm back open free.
What's up with baseball? Your Little League?
We're done. Yeah, Little League's outside.
Okay.
I went from the kids are playing soccer and basketball and baseball. We've been rolling into all of these at once, and now
it's all over.
We're done for the summer. Now
they were all masking themselves there.
No mask. No, we were.
How about last month, 2 months ago? You had to wear masks?
We've not worn them. Nope, not worn a mask.
Why is that?
One practice or game outside. And we're
I thought they just had masks at the Indy 500 with the drivers.
They're in Marion County. We're in Johnson County, the county below.
Across the street.
We're on that border.
They're across the street.
It's across the street. We're on that border. So our games are in Johnson County.
Good for you.
We're outside. We're practicing with these snotty kids. Always like, what's the difference?
So you stand on the border and just
Yeah. Hi guys. Yeah. Nothing here. Yeah. You don't have to. It's there's.
All right.
Yeah. We don't. Not much of the political game on the counties outside of Marion County going on. So.
All right. So again, we'll talk next on Wednesday with CJ, and then you and I will then do it all again on Thursday. For this show, and obviously we'll also recap what happened last week, or what will be last week, next week, and then also, of course, preview the race at Wisconsin, and then stay tuned because some of these interviews, the post-race interviews, and all that other stuff will be available, and we will post it up on the website just like we did for the Brickyard. During those couple of weeks. It's only a couple of days here, but as soon as we get those, we'll post them up on the site. Correct?
Yep, definitely. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Eric. We'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good.